from News Channel 8 in Tampa, Florida, this is Bucs Bonus on WFLA Now. Powered by 1-800-ASK-GARY.
It's official. Tom Brady on his social media accounts announcing he will not make the competitive commitment anymore. A long message to the Bucs organization, his fans, saying it is best to leave the field of play to the next generation. What do you think about Tom Brady now officially announcing his retirement to the world, to the NFL community, and to Bucs Nation? We'll let you react here with us on WFLA Now. Bucs Bonus, powered by 1-800-ASK-GARY. JB Buno here with you live. Great to have you here, folks. Of course, this news broke during Gasparilla over the weekend, and now here we have it. Tom Brady making an official statement, going out the way that he wants to go out, putting it in his own words. We're going to read a little bit of what he had to say, but I want to bring in perhaps the biggest Buccaneers superfan out there, Buckified Bert, who works with us here at WFLA 8 on your side, your official Bucs station. We live, breathe Bucs, but no one lives and breathes the Buccaneers like Buckified does here on the right side of your screen. Buckified, I just want to get your reaction. Tom Brady gave us 2 seasons, wins a Super Bowl in one of them, comes close here in the playoffs, losing to the Rams, who are, of course, advancing to the Super Bowl to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. What's your initial reaction to Tom Brady hanging up the cleats after 22 seasons and 7 Super Bowl championships?
JBM, it's like sad news, but he did sign initially for 2 years, and we got a lot out of the 2 years, and Tom was just being Tom when he was restructuring his contract to say an additional year just so we can get some players to come back for our 2021 season. And he was just being Tom to make it happen, and it happened. But, and we just fell short. I mean, but we can't complain about the 2021 season. I mean, we did really, really good. We were so close to doing a back-to-back. So we got to thank Tom. Tip my hat to Tom for all of what he did for the Tampa Bay area. I mean, we're solidly on the map, and we can take what we learn and rally behind the next generation. Trash, Cincinnati is in the Super Bowl because of somebody that graduated from LSU, Barrows. He graduated in the same year we picked up Trash, and Trash been looking behind him working behind Tom for 2 years. So that looks promising to me. Although I wish we can have Tom, but we're gonna rally behind the next generation.
I want to read some of, we're going to talk about Kyle Trask here in a second, Buckified. We're also going to talk about some of the other hashtag HeyJB comments. You can also use hashtag BuckifiedBert there on the right side of your screen. We'll look for those as well. Rachel, though, with the first hashtag HeyJB comment in the Facebook Live comment section saying, is it real this time? And I know, yeah, it doesn't really get much more real than this. It's Tom's words on his social media accounts, and we'll read a little bit of that here to you now. I like this paragraph here where it seems very candid, where he says, I've done a lot of reflecting this past week and have asked myself difficult questions, and I am so proud of what we have achieved. My teammates, coaches, fellow competitors, and fans deserve 100% of me, but right now it's best I leave the field of play to the next generation of dedicated and committed athletes. To my Bucs teammates the past 2 years, I love you guys, and I've loved going to battle with you. You have dug so deep to challenge yourself, and it inspired me to wake up every day and give you my best. I am always here for you guys and want to see you continue to push yourselves to be the best. I couldn't be happier with what we accomplished together. He goes on to thank the city of Tampa, the entire Tampa St. Pete region, the Glazer family, of course, the Buccaneers ownership family, Jason Light, head coach Bruce Arians. Remember going back to last season, Buckified, there was all this talk about whether or not Arians and Brady were on the same page, but we really saw their relationship kind of blossom over the 2 seasons here together in Tampa Bay. He thanks his trainer, Alex Guerrero. He goes on to thank his agent, Don Yee. And lastly, ends with his wife, Giselle, and his children, Jack, Benny, and Vivi. saying that you are my inspiration. This is clearly a decision, Buckified, that comes down to his family. He made that very clear at the end of the season. Family comes first, Buckified. You know it. I know it. Family comes first. This is a guy who has played 22 seasons, really spending most of his adult life playing professional football, not even collegiate, professional football. So he's hanging up the cleats. It's been a remarkable career, easily the GOAT as far as quarterbacks go. We had a great conversation on Saturday about whether he's the greatest football player of all time. What is the Buccaneers' legacy for Tom Brady, in your words?
The legacy to me is it giving me a chance to wake up on the 7th of February, 2021, to say to myself that I'm going to a Super Bowl right here in the city of Tampa Bay. And to have that opportunity, and I felt like it was going to be that opportunity all the time, but to actually live that, to live something like that that's so historic that, LA pretty much bet the house on trying to replicate what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did with Tom Brady. And I can never stop thanking him enough for that opportunity to wake up in Tampa saying to yourself, I'm going to the Super Bowl right here in Tampa Bay. And, the community work, a lot of the work that he was doing in the community, Tom does in the community, he wasn't even talking about it. And that part there, I'm Buckified and Ole Alive is all about helping the next generation and community work. But it was enhanced even more by having Tom Brady to come over and rally and get some troops from around the nation to come, around the league to come and play with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to do what we did, make history in 2020.
I want to show you guys a poll that we did on Saturday when the news originally broke from ESPN's Adam Schefter, Jeff Darlington. We ran a poll asking folks, and we had 10,000 votes because this was an enormous moment in time. It was the first news that came out about Brady's impending decision. It happened right as the Gasparilla Parade was rolling. For those of you unfamiliar with Gasparilla, of course, the parade of pirates, the pirate invasion that takes place in Tampa, an annual tradition going back more than 100 years here in the Tampa Bay area. We asked folks during that live stream, is Tom Brady the greatest football player of all time? 53% said yes, 47% said no. I think that that there were some folks, probably myself included, expecting the yes to be a little bit higher. There's two reasons likely for this poll being as close to 50-50 as it is. There's a lot of Brady haters, as they're called, online. And also, too, football comes down to more than just the quarterback position. There's Jim Brown, Jerry Rice, some other great legendary football players as well. So I'd be very curious to see. We're running a poll now, Buckified. And that poll, for those of you joining us on Facebook Live, if you hang out for a few minutes, you should see it pop up on your device. You'll see an interactive pop-up on the bottom of your device, and it'll ask you, is Tom Brady the greatest quarterback ever? Quarterback now, not football player, but quarterback. We'll come back to those poll results in about 5 minutes' time. You have my word. Let's get to some of the comments coming in, Buckified. I want to hear your reaction, too. Feel free to shout out if there's anything here that you want to kind of chime in on. Matt Spencer, hashtag AJB. Tom is a class act, and by retiring now, he saved the Bucs $15 million from a bonus due on the 4th. This, Buckified, this move does help the Buccaneers organization for their financial strategy for the upcoming season, because if Brady had extended this decision and in essence pulled a Brett Favre where Willie won't he retire, and even when you think he does retire, then he unretires. If it had been one of those scenarios, it does hurt the team from a salary cap standpoint. So it's Brady doing it and coming to a decision when he did opens doors for the Buccaneers organization and to find their quarterback of the future.
He's a team player. I mean, he's a team player, and he's the greatest ever. I mean, 7 Super Bowl victories, that's not easy to do.
One isn't easy to do. One Super Bowl isn't easy to do. He got 7.
Right. And they come down here to Tampa, and with the intentions of winning a Super Bowl and actually win the Super Bowl. I mean, come on. I mean, he's the greatest ever. And if you ask me, and really, I like his community work more than anything else. Because I say, some community work you might find out about, but you had to dig deep to find out that he was like really deep into trying to help the community and be the positive role model that he's demonstrated on and off the field. He's a leader, and yes, he's the greatest ever.
I got something for you here, Buck. You're gonna like this. You're gonna like this. A big shout out to Christopher Cole, one of our use hashtag KJB, or you can see it there in the bottom right hand portion of your screen. Hashtag BuckifiedBert will feature some of your comments. Again, getting your reaction to the news that Tom Brady has now officially announced his retirement on his social media accounts. Christopher Cole. Very astute observation here from him, saying in his statement, hashtag KJB, no mention of the Patriots. This is very interesting. I did not realize, we're so channeled to thinking about Tom Brady as a Buccaneer because this is Bucs Bonus. We're on WFLA now. Of course, this is the Tampa Bay area. We're so now used to talking about Tom Brady as a Buccaneer, which for New Englanders is probably very, very still just a weird thing and an alternative reality kind of concept. But in this statement, Bert, he doesn't make any mention of New England, of the Patriots, of that organization. Do you consider that a slight? Is that surprising to you?
No, not surprising. As Tom he's in the moment. He's like WFLA now. I mean, he's in the now, and the main reason we are the ones who are affected by the decision that he making to retire or not to retire. And so, yes, it only makes sense to include just Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everything else is like history, but I mean, this is in the now. Yes, it's affecting us just like you brought up the $15 million cap. I mean, we in the now, and Tom demonstrated that. I mean, come on, what we did in Tampa Bay. I mean, back to back with the Lightning, but at the same time, we had parades because the Gasparilla was suspended, but we had a parade because of Tom Brady coming to Tampa and giving the Bucs a boat parade. He's like a filler, so to speak. We had the parade with the Lightning twice, and then we had the parade with the Bucs, all during the time when it was an absence of the Gasparilla parade. Now we got the Gasparilla parade back, but Tom helped us, not have a parade in spite of the Gasparilla because of COVID. Suspended the parade. So yes, he's the greatest, and he's impacting us in so many ways. And based on that alone, I don't know any other city that ever can say what happened. 3 parades in a row. 3 parades in a row because
we've had a lot of parades. Yeah,
yes, go boat parades. I mean, none other city can say that.
Pretty incredible. Let's get to some more of the comments. Use hashtag. We'll get to our poll results in about 2 minutes. Use either of the hashtags on your screen as a last call for your hashtag KJB or hashtag BuckifiedBert comments. Ruth Delaney, hashtag KJB. I'm very saddened by the news, as Tom was phenomenal, and I have enjoyed watching him play. I hope he at least stays in Tampa. I would have loved to watch him play one more season. Great question. Is Tom Brady now a Tampa Bay guy? I mean, is this his retirement home? I mean, if you're Tom Brady, Buckified, you can have homes in multiple places. You can have homes in Florida. You can have homes in California. You could and you could probably have a house in New England, and of course, receive all the love in the world from New Englanders up there in the Northeast. But is he a Tampa Bay guy now? Is he going to just live down here with Giselle and the fam, you think?
Well, he has to. I mean, he made history, and Tampa is one awesome place to live.
It is.
I mean, for crying out loud, to have the Lombardi Trophy and the Super Bowl. The Stanley Cup, right in the same place, the same time, back to back.
Let's show everybody a live picture from our tower cam, and we'll put away Ruth's comment and just let folks know that the weather right now, it is extraordinary out for January. This is Beautiful day in Tampa Bay, 64 degrees out. We had a little bout of cold weather over the weekend where we just dipped below freezing in some spots, but we live in a beautiful place. We really do. And if Tom Brady stays here, of course, he is welcome to do so, and he's got his incredible family to support him. So be very curious to see if Brady stays in the area. Cindy Crabtree, hashtag JB. I'm so sad here in Tennessee. I watched him for 21 years. He's the best quarterback of all time. We'll always love TB12. Brett Morrison. How about this, Buckified? I know Tom Brady's your dude right now, so I need your thoughts on this. Brett Morrison, hashtag AJB. Do you think that he will sign with and retire as a Patriot? Definitely the GOAT. And then he put in, I think that's 7 GOATs for the 7 rings. But Brett asking, is there any chance that he signs one of those ceremonial sort of contracts just to say that you retired with the organization that you played most of your career with? Or do you read into this statement that this is it, Brady retires as a Buck?
Well, I he may go back and sign as the Patriot. I mean, after all, that's home for him, and there's a lot of family for him in that area. Because he's trying to treat fans and players over there as like family. So it'd be understandable, but to not put a hashtag or asterisk on that Buccaneers, it would be wrong, because we did some things in Tampa. I mean, it's not easy to replicate. That stadium can never be torn down now because it's an historic stadium. This way, in 100 years, nobody has ever done what Tom came down here to Tampa to do. And so it's like we're on the map based on how he handled this situation. We good team, period. But, I mean, we on the map. All the haters and all the doubters didn't believe it was going to happen, but he came down and made it happen. We won the Super Bowl right here. He can never, ever forget Super Bowl number 7. That's for sure.
From Raymond James to Raymond James, right? As you put it, James to Raymond James.
He started from Raymond James winning his first game, and then he ended at Raymond James in 2000, on February 2nd, 2001. And that's from Raymond James to Raymond James.
Love it. It was an incredible, historic season and an uplift to see Brady win it down here during the pandemic when just the whole country felt upside down. To see Tom Brady come down here in one season, do his Florida thing, and take the Buccaneers to the promised land for the first time since 2002. It was just absolutely extraordinary. We'll wrap up with a few more comments in your poll results. Brooks Sutherland, hashtag AJB. Tampa Bay, thanks Tom Brady for a job well done. You will be missed. Enjoy retirement. James Burns, hashtag AJB, changed how we thought about what we could. And I think that what this tweet speaks to is I don't think that anyone ever thought that winning 7 Super Bowls was a realistic thing for a player. Maybe a coach, maybe an all-time great coach could get to 7 just because a coaching career can span 30, 40 years. But for a player, it's unheard of and might not ever be touched. Michael Caldwell, hashtag HeyJB. Brady is second to none, and says this as a longtime Joe Montana fan. And I'll end out with this one. My favorite Buck fight of the entire list of comments that we got through here on Bucs Bonus. Clifford Cook, hashtag HeyJB. I was blessed to have my 8-year-old son watch a true role model these last 2 years. Tampa Bay fans will truly never forget this. Thank you, TB12, for choosing Tampa Bay. Bucs fans since 1998. Go Bucs. Clifford, I'm going to hit the applause button for that comment, because think about all the kids in the Tampa Bay area that got to go to Raymond James Stadium and see Tom Brady play football. And they can tell their kids and their grandkids one day that they saw Tom Brady play football. It's just an extraordinary thing. Somebody who played into their age 44 season, to be able to go that long and to reach so many football fans across multiple generations like that. It's just such a unique and special thing for the folks in New England to get those years, all those years, those 19 or 20 seasons with the New England Patriots, and then for Tampa Bay to get the 2 down here in Florida. It's just absolutely extraordinary. We have eclipsed 1,000 votes on our interactive poll. Let's get right to it. Is Tom Brady the greatest quarterback ever? 71% say yes. And we have some trolling going on. There's no doubt in my mind there's some trolling going on. 29% say no.
Oh.
Wow. That's okay. I can hear the argument. I can hear the argument that Tom Brady isn't the greatest football player of all time because you think, as a football purist, you think, you think that there's other positions on the football field that deserve attention for what you consider to be the greatest football player of all time, and that quarterback should be its own separate category. I hear that purist argument. However, to say that he's not the greatest quarterback ever, he's got 7 Super Bowl rings. He goes out on top. Into his age 44 season, he was leading the league in passing. So, Buck, if I had to give it to you, is Tom Brady the greatest football player of all time, the greatest quarterback of all time? What is his legacy as far as the Mount Rushmore of NFL history?
The greatest quarterback of all time. I almost want to go out there and step and say the greatest football player of all time, because the quarterback carries all the weight. When you have a quarterback win or lose, the quarterback is the person who he's like the general. I mean, he calls all the shots, and so when the team win or when the team lose, it all falls on the quarterback. And to handle something like that for 22 years, and win 7 Super Bowls. That's not. Everybody know that's not easy to do. I tell you what, Dan Marino would just like to have just one of them Super Bowls, and Dan Marino would believe and accept that Tom Brady is the greatest ever football player and quarterback. Quarterback take all of the rap, win or lose.
I do hear some of the arguments out there for some other great quarterbacks. I've seen Dan Marino in our comment section. I've also seen Joe Montana mentioned in our comment section as well. Some extraordinary quarterbacks to do it. More recently, of course, there's so much love for Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, who held a lot of records before Brady broke them. There's a lot of love for quarterbacks out there. It's one of the most recognizable positions in all of sports. But I don't think that there's any dispute from the two of us here, any disagreement here, that Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. Really appreciate everybody joining us here on WFLA Now. Bucs Bonus powered by 1-800-ASK-GARY. You can read the latest on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. Of course, we're going to have all of our on-air coverage tonight from our WFLA sports team, so be sure to look out for that on your NBC station here in Tampa Bay, WFLA News Channel 8 on your side. I'd like to thank Buckified Bert for joining us. Buck, always great to have you, man. We'll have conversations in the future about the next evolution of the Buccaneers roster and what it looks like and who's the future quarterback of the Bucs. We'll save that for another edition of Bucs Bonus, but I appreciate you hanging out with us here today.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time, everybody, on Bucs Bonus, powered by 1-800-ASK-GARY.